We are counting down the top 10 most ruthless ants ever filmed in action, a ranking of unstoppable teamwork, brute strength, and mind-bending engineering. From fortress-like defenders to living bridges that defy gravity, these tiny titans push the limits of what insects can achieve without a single fight shown. Which species will reign as the most relentless of all? Let us begin the countdown with number 10. A single oversized head fills the entrance, a living barricade, motionless and unyielding. Meet the big-headed ant. Major workers, with heads nearly as wide as the tunnel itself, rotate in shifts to plug the nest doorway. Every exit and entrance is guarded, each soldier matched to the opening, forming a seamless blockade. At the slightest sign of movement, minor workers funnel behind, passing in single file while the door guard holds firm. This choreography turns a simple hole in the leaf litter into a fortress. No chaos, no confusion, just relentless vigilance, hour after hour. The colony's safety depends on this tireless defense, a precision tactic that stops intruders before they even step inside. The first taste of ant ruthlessness comes not with violence, but with discipline and design. But number 9 is even more relentless. Inside a fallen log, the sound of relentless chiseling echoes through the darkness. Carpenter ants are at work, majors, their heads broad and jaws like living chisels drive into wood with rhythmic force. Each bite sends a sliver flying, and the air fills with the scent of fresh sawdust. Miners swarm in behind, forming a continuous chain, each hauling debris out of the tunnels, dropping it in growing mounds at the entrance. Over days, these mounds become signposts of expansion. The galleries inside gleam, walls polished smooth by constant traffic. Every tunnel, every chamber is carved to exacting standards, wide enough for the largest worker, curved for efficient airflow. The colony's progress is measured in millimeters, but the work never stops. A ballet of muscle and precision, all in service of a fortress that endures for years. Transition cue, vibrant sound pulse. But number 8 is even more relentless. A shimmering current sweeps over roots and stones. Argentine ants on the march. These are no scattered foragers. Each one follows an invisible chemical path, reinforced with every step. Their trails stretch for hundreds of meters, linking nest to nest, food to colony, until the forest floor pulses with unbroken movement. This is the power of the super colony. Millions of workers forming rivers of living bodies, flowing day and night. Pheromone highways are renewed constantly, guiding every ant with precision. Obstacles vanish beneath the tide as the colony's reach expands, claiming ground not with force, but with sheer presence. Native ants fade away, unable to match the relentless numbers or the flawless coordination. In California, in Europe, in Japan, these living rivers reshape entire landscapes, unstoppable, silent, and utterly efficient. But number 7 is even more relentless. A glint of silver flashes across the desert floor. Saharan silver ants burst from their nests, sprinting over sand hot enough to fry an egg. Each ant is a lone runner, legs stretched for maximum speed, racing against a deadly clock. Surface temperatures soar past 150 degrees Fahrenheit, but these ants are built for extremes. Their bodies shimmer with a coat of triangular hairs, reflecting sunlight like polished chrome and shedding heat that would kill any other insect. At top speed, they cover nearly a meter every second, weaving between rippling mirages and scattered stones. Every dash is a gamble. Just minutes in the open can mean life or death. They navigate by reading the sun's position, never pausing, never hesitating. When the heat is at its worst and rivals have vanished, silver ants claim the desert for themselves, outrunning danger with nothing but raw endurance and a coat of living armor. But number 6 is even more relentless. A green wave ripples across the forest floor, leafcutter ants on the move. Each worker grips a jagged slice of leaf, holding it high like a parasol. The trail becomes a living conveyor belt, stretching from the canopy to the nest, every ant slotting into place with metronomic precision. At the entrance, smaller workers dart in and out, relaying fragments down into the darkness. Below ground, the real marvel begins. Here, millions of ants tend sprawling fungal gardens, feeding their crop bit by bit with fresh-cut leaves. Size matters. Hefty majors guard the highways, nimble miners groom the fungus, and the tiniest workers nurse the brood. Every task is assigned, every movement tuned to the colony's rhythm. This is not chaos, it is industry on a scale few animals can match. The result is a subterranean metropolis, fueled day and night by a tireless supply chain. But number 5 is even more relentless. A blur of motion, then snap. The trapjaw ant stands poised, mandibles stretched wide, each one locked and loaded like a tiny crossbow. In the blink of an eye, those spring-loaded jaws slam shut at speeds topping 200 kilometers per hour, so fast the ant rockets backward, flipping through the air and landing safely out of reach. This is not an attack. It is pure escape artistry, the fastest movement ever recorded in the animal kingdom, all packed into a frame barely bigger than a grain of rice. Slow motion footage reveals the secret, a hair trigger mechanism that transforms muscle tension into ballistic force, launching the ant clear of danger in a single explosive jump. No other insect can match this mechanical precision. One moment a threat looms, the next the trapjaw is gone, vanished in a flash of kinetic genius. But number 4 is even more relentless. A wall of armored bodies advances, each step pounding out a rhythm on the forest floor. Driver ants, Ruthless, move as one, forging highways through tangled roots and fallen leaves. The column never breaks formation. At the front, workers roll aside pebbles and twigs, clearing a path wide enough for thousands to follow. Nothing blocks their progress for long. When the nest is threatened, a new kind of engineering takes over. Teams of workers gather stones and debris, rolling them into place to seal every entrance. The result, a fortress built from the forest itself, entrances masked and armored against rain or intruders. Each ant knows its role, every movement synchronized. The colony's safety depends on this relentless cooperation, a living machine reshaping the world beneath their feet. But number 3 is even more relentless. High in the emerald canopy, a single signal ripples through the leaves. Then the weaver ants begin. Workers stretch their bodies across the green expanse, forming living chains that pull distant foliage closer, each ant locking legs and mandibles in perfect tension. Hundreds join in, adjusting their grip as the gap narrows. Larvae are passed forward, their silk spun in delicate ribbons, gluing leaf edges into seamless chambers. This is aerial architecture, nest walls stitched midair, suspended among the branches. The colony's palette glows. Workers shimmer in vivid green and orange, darting along flexible bridges of their own design. Every move is measured, every connection precise, as the structure expands leaf by leaf. Adaptable chains stretch to fit any distance, transforming scattered foliage into a fortress above the forest floor. In this world, strength and finesse are inseparable, and the sky itself becomes a canvas for ant ingenuity. But number 2 is even more relentless. A single worker steps onto a mossy trunk, its body gleaming with humidity, mandibles wide and unwavering. This is the bullet ant, Paraponera clavata, the titans of the rainforest floor. Each guard stands nearly an inch tall, dwarfing the leaf litter below, posted at the colony's edge for hours at a stretch. Their massive jaws are shaped for more than show. Every contour is built for power, a living warning to anything that dares approach. Patrols move in slow, deliberate circuits, tracing the same bark and roots, antennae sweeping for the faintest tremor. Even as the air thickens and afternoon storms roll in, the sentries hold their ground, unblinking, unbowed. No rush, no chaos, just endurance, presence, and the silent promise of force. In the Amazon, reputation alone is enough. One look at those mandibles, one step into that guarded zone, and the forest itself seems to pause. But number 1 is even more relentless. A dark ribbon pours over the forest floor, army ants on the move. Hundreds of thousands surge forward, each one guided by invisible chemical signals, forming a living column that flows through roots, mud, and tangled undergrowth. When the path ahead vanishes beneath rising water, the front ranks lock together, bodies arching and legs entwined. One by one, workers join the span, building a living bridge that stretches across the creek. The column never stops. Waves of ants cross the bridge, their weight rippling through the structure, each step a testament to collective strength. Behind them, the rest of the colony follows. Queens, brood, even the living bivouac, all shifting as a single unbroken organism. In time-lapse, the scene transforms. A slow, relentless tide, then a sudden surge as the bridge dissolves and reforms farther ahead. No blueprint, no leader, just pure instinctive choreography on a scale the jungle has never seen. This is the superorganism at its peak. Defense, speed, engineering, and unity fused into a force that reshapes the world beneath it. Ruthless, unstoppable, and utterly mesmerizing. These are nature's living bridges. Army ants, number 1 for a reason. Across all 10 entries, one pattern dominates. True ruthlessness lies in unity and strategy, and relentless drive, not violence. These ants prove that collective intelligence builds empires and conquers obstacles. In the world beneath our feet, real power moves in swarms. Which species surprised you most? Tell us below.